Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yeah, we want a drink.
This is a school.
Nah, here.
Out of the question.
Give us what we want.
Can't be done.
Give us what we want.
No.
Give us what we want.
I must decline.
Give us what we want!
No. Unpleasant. Anyway, Mando, what did you want to discuss?
Give me what I want.
It's not possible.
Give me what I want.
Nope.
Give me what I want.
You're being unreasonable.
Please?
Can't.
Come on.
No.
Just give me what I want.
Can't be done. No.
Give me what I want!
Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and today, on the surface, it looks like there's not a lot to talk about, but there is. Oh, there he goes again, just talking about how much there is to talk about. But no, when I did my rough outline, it was like, there's only this, and this. But McFarlane Toys has a ton of stuff, Marvel Legends has a ton of stuff, and then little things in between. But what it comes down to is action figures. That makes me happy. Hopefully that makes you happy. And here we are. McFarlane Toys promised a winter showcase this week, running 3 days, and they outdid themselves. They went over that with an encore day, but first day was Demon Slayer. I've heard this is a thing these days. Like McFarlane's Avatar line, there's a 5-inch series that has limited articulation, and then there's a 7-inch series that has all the articulation. Well, McFarlane's patented articulation scheme. Some people like it, some people don't, but there's joints there. Can you tell which pictures I'm showing? This is Fwoosh. We deal with 1/12 scale and slightly above. That's it. I don't know a damn thing about Demon Slayer. Saying that, these look pretty good. Looks like the characters, the articulation is nicely integrated, especially considering the costumes, the clothing here. There's a lot of things that make you think, there's no way they got joints at all. They did. Wow. And then the effect pieces are eye-catching. Those add a lot to the value. Then they showed off a new Spawn assortment, giving you more spawns for your Spawn display. They kicked it off with Monolith Spawn, looking all monolithy and spawny. It's like the Hulk decided to spawn out, but looking closer, ooh, I really like that line of skulls on his forehead. There's also Sin, who I've never heard of before, but reading the bio, and yes, I can read. Or maybe you're more surprised that I actually looked at the information in front of me instead of making up my own story. But I can't make up anything better than this being Kane. Yes, that Kane. And through the centuries, he's just... The green armor is spiffy here, and in a display it's going to stand out against your usual reds and blacks of, the rest of the Spawn characters. But speaking of that, there's also medieval Spawn. Could use a wash in some places. The silver is really just plain looking, but it's still silver against that red and black of Spawn. So it looks pretty good. How many times have I said Spawn in this short little segment? Oh, yeah? Spawn. But most collectors in my circles were looking forward to the DC Multiverse reveals, and in that department, there wasn't a lot of disappointment. First though, jumping back to last weekend, we talked about the big, bulky Build-A-Beast boy, and we wondered, will there be a more traditional Gar? There will be. It's a Walmart exclusive gold label, which can be tough to lay hands upon, but it's out there. But for the actual winter showcase, ooh, Tim Drake Robin looks exactly like we pictured him when McFarlane Toys showed off their Amazon exclusive all red costume Robin. But this isn't just a repaint, it's a new head, it's a new cape, and it's a new belt. And that more than anything makes me think, oh, yo, that's some classic Tim Drake right there. It's funny how you can focus on just one thing. As soon as I saw the picture, it was like, belt. Look at that. That's Tim. Then came Nightfall Batman. Yes, another Batman. I can't believe it either. Oh, just so many. Is this all McFarlane makes? Is Batman's? I am so sick of Batman's just all the time. Hey, what's going on? You look pretty good. Yeah, it still has that multiverse aesthetic, but this is the most classic-y, iconic-y Batman we've gotten so far. That doesn't happen near as much as people would like, so the next reveal has to be something more edgy, more modern, more... oh, okay. Nope, here's your Reign of the Supermen Steel. Again, not a direct translation from paper to plastic, but... man, there's no denying it. That's a good looking steel. Okay, Todd, now bring on something from Metal or Rebirth or, god dang, a calmer, hush Superman. It still doesn't scratch that happy, shiny people Superman that I've been whining about for ages, but It's less angry than the previous Hush Superman. And yes, I forgot about that too. When I saw this, I was like, finally, a Superman that is just Superman. But then there was that exclusive with the heat vision and the... And that's it, right? What can possibly top what we've already seen? Holy shit. A Flash movie Michael Keaton Batman Batmobile. I need to know more about this right now. Looking at the picture, I don't know if it's going to be true 7-inch multiverse scale. You look at the canopy, it's been raised up and enlarged, probably to fit a 7-inch scale figure. That means the car is probably scaled down a little. If that is the case, it was done to get it on retail shelves where there's limited space and cost factors. But hey, even a little smaller works for me. Again, 1/12 scale guy. And, oh, that Mezco Batman's right on the horizon. Will I be able to match these up, pair them up? Yeah, the inside's probably bigger, but standing outside of it? At least that's how I perceive this at this exact moment in time. Don't come back to this video in a few months when we have all the information and the pictures and the comparisons going, haha, you were wrong. Hey, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm wrong all the time. All I can say is, this looks fantastic. And depending on how it actually scales, it'll be useful in... I'm just digging myself a hole, ain't I? Batmobile good. Either way, it hits right here, you know, right in the feels. It's a very nostalgic showing for McFarlane Toys. And I'm sure there's more on the way. It's Todd. There's always more on the way. Did everyone have a great Target haul-a-thon? Ooh, easy, easy, easy. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm a purveyor of pretty promotional pictures. I point, I giggle. Beyond that... on everybody else. Speaking personally, I have not seen a hint of new NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the shelves at my Target. But then again, I'm not the target audience for what they're showing this week. They've gotten too deep for me, but I know there's a lot of people hunting this stuff down. Well, I say that. I have some passing interest in the cartoon accessory set, mainly for baby turtles. They're so cute. Look at them. Ooh. But I wasn't even out of bed on Friday before they sold the hell out. Quickly. From what I've heard, it's like, it's in my cart, let me pay. Gone. What the? It looks like the next items to sell out were the 2 packs of Cartoon Chakahachi and Lotus, and then Mighty Hog and Rhino Man. Which makes sense now that I think about it, because the cartoon figures are Target exclusive. There's going to be no other way to get this unless they pop up again. As far as the comic book characters go, those are going to be available through other outlets later. So yeah, okay. I can see why those didn't sell out, at least the last time I checked. Well, there's more layers to the Mirage Comics Shredder clones because these pair up with the Loot Crate Shredder clone. So if you don't have that, there's no reason to get this. Man, see? Then there was also the RG Comics Man Ray looking all handsome in plastic. Look at that jaw and those muscles. He's so dreamy. Like I said, these were available last I checked. The link is in the description if you want to check for yourself. So there is Haulathon Week 1. With more to come, so we'll see how that goes. This kind of flew out of left field this week. Here is the Bandai S.H.Figuarts Deadpool 2 movie Deadpool. No, you do not already own this figure. That's a lie. You already own this figure and most of the accessories, but there are some tweaks. First, the red on this costume is darker. The way they describe it, it's Deadpool from the end of the movie, which automatically makes you think, oh, it's supposed to be gray. And you'd be right, because Hasbro did the same thing. Here's the end of the movie Deadpool, just in darker red. And I guess if I think about it, right before he got covered in ash, or that last blast, before he turned gray, he was a darker red because of all the other fire stuff. But still, it just seems more like an excuse of, hey, here's an easy variant, a darker red Deadpool. The biggest change here, though, is the guns. It's weird to think about Deadpool without guns, but that's exactly what they did the first go-around. He had holes in his thighs to put holsters, but no holsters, no guns. And there were no reasons given, just no trigger weapons. Trigger fingers, no trigger weapons. Now come around, it's almost like, hey, remember when we didn't give you guns? Sorry about that. Buy another one. And to make up for that, they're actually including 6 pistols. 2 plain, 2 with blast effects, and 2 smoking. Overkill, maybe, but not really, because I can take a pair of those, give them to my first Deadpool. Hell, I can take the other pair and give them to my Hasbro Deadpool. I mean, no I will not fall for your blatant marketing tricks, Bandai. You can take this and shove it right into a box and mail it to me when it's available because I pre-ordered it. I'm sorry. Hey, don't judge me because have I told you that it also includes a new inhibitor collar?
Stupid! Worth it.
Otherwise, it comes with all the same accessories. The knife, the swords, the swappable hands, the eyepieces to give them different looks. MSRP is $70 at the current exchange rate. That's not what every store is going to charge. So yeah, that's all I got. And then the release date is set for August. I did a quick rundown of the Hasbro Marvel Legends fan stream on Wednesday where I just put out my initial thoughts. And after sitting on them for a couple of days, not much has changed. I was half tempted just to take that video and shove it right here, but it's the weekly. I'm standing here. I might as well talk about them, right? The only pre-order from the stream is the Spider-Man animated series Doc Ock and an Aunt May 2-pack. I didn't see the cartoon, so I'm not familiar with these looks, but Googling pictures real quick and comparing Aunt May to her cartoon counterpart, it's not exact, and I can see where people are coming from. To me, it almost seems like they did that Star Wars thing where they take a animated character and reel it up a bit so it'll fit in with the rest of your display. Not like Into the Spider-Verse where they went straight cartoon, and I guess they did that with What If too. Then they stand out, right? That was the biggest gripe for those. They take Aunt May, give her some photo reel, it kind of looks like the comic books, but it's definitely from the cartoon. Well, okay, maybe that's a major change from earlier in the week because I'm kind of talking myself into this pack, mostly for the bendy tentacles that come with Doc Ock. Now, I do like the cartoon design, the orange, the greens, the supervillain build, especially this, him just walking, thinking, planning, plotting, how will I take out Spider-Man? No, the big draw for me are the tentacles being compatible with previous comic book Doc Ocks. You can unplug those, plug these in, and you got bendies. So if I buy the pack for that, and then I have this Doc Ock figure and an Aunt May that we've never had in this scale before, I can put that on the shelf. Do I want to do that? Should I have thought about this more before I hit the record button? I don't know. This inner battle. Should I buy it? I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but we'll see what the coming weeks bring. For the rest of the reveals, no pre-orders. Hell, there weren't even pretty promotional pictures. Those will all come about when there's actual solicitations. An upcoming Spider-Man wave has a lot of modern flavor with a more recent Ben Reilly in a red and black costume. There's a newer Miles costume, all in red and black. An updated Jessica Drew Spider-Woman with all kinds of red and black. And then there is Elektra as Daredevil in red and black. You see a theme here? There was a discount on red and black materials at the factory, I think. There's also a classic Tarantula where the boys went, man, that's a lot of red and black. Let's throw a little blue in there. And again, searching for pictures, there are a lot where it shows blue in the mask, but more as an old school highlighting technique. It's light bouncing off the black because in those same pictures, the black of the costume also has blue highlights. So here, just being blue, black, red, it stands out a bit. But it's still a classic Tarantula, and for me, black paint is cheap. In fact, I've got a couple here. How much black paint do I have? There are all kinds of black paint. Is this one? Oh, gloss black. Well, okay, that's a wash, and that's a transparent smoke. But there's still black paint. The rose brightens things up with his white suit, but then that purple brings us to Ben Reilly as Chasm. If the unannounced Build-A-Figure tempts me into buying the whole wave, I'll probably stand this next to that Spider-Man Doc Ock costume. You know, the gray with the neon green and the tentacles. Oh, I forgot about that. That does look good, and it'll look good next to this. Then there's the 60th anniversary of Avengers, and they ain't playing around. I've always loved first appearance Iron Man, and they nailed the look while giving it way more articulation than it deserves. Well, okay, deserves is a strong term. Than you expect, I guess. It's clunky and chunky, it should be cumbersome. But no, it does all the twisty and turnies. You can go back to the video and it's just... We're also getting a 2-pack of Banner and Hulk in color-coordinated clothing. It's a little thing, but I can appreciate that thought process. It's Banner in orange and blue. Hulk should have orange and blue. So there you go. Hulk does have a new, smoother torso to evoke that classic look, but then It's reuse arms with the veins, so it does stand out a bit. The shirt helps to diffuse the situation, I guess you could say. And the more I've looked at this, the more I think I'm going to judge this in hand. Because it's hard. You look at the picture, once you see it, but then once you have it in hand, it's just, oh, fun plastic. Click, 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 click. There's also a 2-pack of Thor and Destroyer. I still picture this Thor with the mask, but apparently this costume design was also a different artist. I wasn't a big Thor fan back in the day, so I don't know all the little intricacies of Thor's costume through the ages. Destroyer looks pretty sweet. I was big on West Coast Avengers, though, so getting Hawkeye on the Sky Cycle, mwah, that's going right on the shelf. It was mentioned that there's room for a buddy on the back, so I am still hoping for a classic-looking Mockingbird, because got a classic-looking Hawkeye. We need Mockingbird. Back to 2-packs, Captain Marvel is paired up with Secret Wars Dr. Doom. I didn't even consider this, but a lot of comments suggested, oh, this could be a Doombot, and I kind of agree with that. But there is a lot of nostalgia involved here too, going back in the day. I didn't do Secret Wars back then, but we've all seen pictures of that Dr. Doom, who's mostly Iron Man, little Dr. Doom. Captain Marvel opens up a slot on a lot of people's top 10 lists. Jumping square into the 90s, here's another 2-pack with Cersei and Black Knight, sporting those oh-so-fashionable leather jackets over spandex. Next up, they introduced their new super-articulated female body with all the joints you could ever want in an action figure, and who better to debut that body than Black Widow. Seeing another Bucky Captain America feels full circle. Seems just like yesterday we were all getting that new body on Bucky Cap and thinking, oh, I gotta wear shades. The future is bright for Marvel Legends. But that was 10 years ago. I had to look that up because I wouldn't have thought 10 years. 2012. That's crazy. Back to 2-packs with the Secret Invasion Super Skrull and Queen. And I say it like that because I said Secret Wars on the rundown video. I don't know why. I guess I had my brain on that Dr. Doom. This is neat. Super Skrull with the Illuminati powers. But again, I said it once. It's a shame that the Queen is using that I was just talking about Bucky Cap body. Oh, out of date, blah, blah, blah. But single elbows on the female body. Those need to be gone. To finish out the reveals, Ryan and Dwight trotted out the Super Adaptoid. This is using an older 12-inch Captain America body, which is appropriate because Super Adaptoid should be bigger than your regular characters. That does modernize the design, but I don't mind. Speaking for myself, because it techs it up a little bit. The stream then ended with the announcement of an Avengers HasLab. It uses the Beyond Earth's Mightiest tagline, so we're thinking something comic book, but that's all we have. Rampant speculation and educated guesses. I think a lot of people are landing on either the Quinjet or something to do with Hank Pym. I'm not going to get too invested in either idea because that's just setting yourself up for disappointment. Oh, it's not exactly what I thought it would be. Hasbro, terrible. Ton of reveals, so expect information soon. Next, how about a little Darkest Before the Dawn? I don't even want to talk about the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Amazon exclusive carbonized Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ned B, and Purge Trooper. That's one take. That's all you're getting, because I'm just talking about this because it exists. It's complete reissues of both figures. Both figures that are still available on the market at this exact moment. At clearance prices. The only difference is the carbonized effect, where they make it metal flaky shiny. And yeah, I've talked about it till I'm blue in the face. This line has less reuse potential than others. The main cast, the characters, they have unique looks that can't be reused back and forth. So I get it, a little extra bang for their buck when it comes to existing tooling. And I'm sure this has its fans. I'm not one to say, no one was asking for this. No one is buying this, because I'm sure there's sales. But to me, Carbonized has run its course. It's done. It's neat when it enhances the figure. The Sith Trooper, the Darth Vaders, that kind of evoke other things like posters or comics. But this... why? Because the bigger kick in the crotch is $75. I know prices are up. It's getting kind of crazy to collect, but this, hell, the original prices of the figures themselves was $28 and $32, right? Where's the extra $15 coming from? Simply because it's carbonized and Amazon exclusive, huh? But for even more genital discomfort, This is what they give us the week The Mandalorian comes back. What in the hell? I mean, really, it's not that big a deal. It exists. I ain't buying it. I'm going on with my day. But it just seems like another dip in the Black Series roller coaster. We either have here or here. There doesn't seem to be anything in between. So I may be soured at the moment, but all it takes is a live stream with some new reveals of unique characters that we don't have on the shelf yet, and I'm right there back in bread and butter land. But at the moment, whew, ain't no bread, ain't no butter. But enough of that. I like being happy, so let's end on a high note. Here is the Hasbro Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves Golden Archive Owlbear, and whew, it's so cute and scary and adorable and fierce. Bears can tear you up, and owls aren't much better. They swoop in, eyeballs. But you combine those two things together, and for some reason, I just want to hug it and love it and call it George. Maybe some tickles in between, and then it slashes at me, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Stop. Come here. Now, the pose isn't the greatest when you're wanting to promote product, but looking at the package, oh, there's where you get a better sense of the figure itself. Plus, that reveals its ability to walk around on all fours with the swappable paws. Comparing to the art, though, I realize it's the head size that's giving me puppy dog vibes. How can you say no to that face? If the head was smaller and there was more paint to knock down that snowy bright white, it would probably look more monstrous. Saying that out loud, it's kind of like the Power Rangers Lightning Collection creatures. It's the same thing. A lot of plastic, not as much paint. And like those, I'm super interested in this just simply for the figure itself. I don't know a lick of D&D lore. I'll get it, throw a wash at it, stick it on another shelf. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, how about an alternate form for Snowbird over on Marvel Legends display? That'll work. Or maybe I'll see the movie, enjoy it, be in the Golden Archive, and I'll have a Dungeons and Dragons display. Who knows? I just like good toy. $45 due out in August. And that's all I got for this week. If things continue like they have been, there's going to be plenty to talk about next week. Oh, but I'm still working on Playday stuff. I already showed this Molten Man work in progress in a short this last week. I've got a young Boba Fett working on, head cast on a Omega body. I did the Howard the Duck switch that everybody's been doing lately, giving him a more articulated body. Looks pretty good. And then I've talked the talk about Marvel Legends Kid Omega, and I'm going to walk the walk by actually making the version I want. There's that and more, because there's some painting, some gluing, little sculpting, but not much because I suck at that. Playday incoming.